So I am testing out a new way of doing this week. So I may keep this as my actual video. I may not. We'll see what happens. Let's give it a try. So we're on week 3, developing your self-awareness, part 1. So last week we looked at how self-awareness entails having a high degree of knowledge about yourself. It's a deep awareness of your habits, emotional tendencies, your needs, your desires, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Having a high level of self awareness is a really powerful tool, and it allows you to change your life more effectively and efficiently because you know how you tick and how your behavior is affecting your results. So, how can you develop the skill of self awareness? Well, that bit went okay, didn't it? So we'll see what happens next. It'll make a funny noise when I try and do something. So, how can you develop your skill of self awareness? First of all, notice your thoughts. Unless you've been meditating for years, your mind is probably constantly turning through ideas, sorting through the chatter, and wading through a whole series of connected thoughts popping up. That's without the added bonuses some of us have with medical conditions, medication side effects, stimulants, and alcohol. So, what can you do about it? Begin to notice your thinking patterns. What are you thinking when you're feeling nervous? When you're feeling bored? While you're interested? What are you thinking when you're walking down the street? Incidentally, it doesn't matter what you're thinking. Just simply notice that you are, in fact, having these fleeting thoughts. Become mindful of them. Notice how similar situations often result in similar thoughts and what that means. Do you judge people in situations without consciously meaning to? Do you spend a lot of time creating thoughts in time? And by that, what I mean is thinking about the past or the future. Do you expect the worst to happen or the best to happen? Or do you just go with the flow? Again, the idea is just to become aware of these thoughts and to do so without judgment. Next, notice your feelings. What are you feeling throughout the day? What do you feel while you're eating, whilst you're driving to work, or you're lying in bed, even whilst you're waiting for the bus? Once you've noticed your emotions, you can question it. Why am I feeling that way? What do I need right now? And how do I normally react in this situation? Becoming aware of your feelings is really, really powerful and assists the unconscious mind in changing behavior. So take time just to notice all of the feelings you have throughout the day. And again, do that without any judgment. That's what we're going to be working on. So just taking time to think about how we're thinking, how we're feeling, why, questioning things, This week, your resources are a worksheet, a feelings wheel, which feelings wheel, which will help you to identify those feelings. If you're struggling with coming up with the words to work out to explain how you're actually feeling, that feelings wheel will really help. There's a thought record, so it's to go into detail about an event that happened and the thoughts that went through your mind as you were doing that event. And then there's thought clouds, and that's just a bit like a brainstorm, a bit like just getting everything written down on one piece of paper. So resources for this week. And to really understand how you deal with frustration or emotional stress, think about it like this. Most people, at least before they start to run their minds effectively, use a huge chunk of time trying to make themselves feel better and everything okay. If you feel even slightly frustrated or uncomfortable, then you might spend a tremendous amount of time and energy trying to change the situation or others around you to resolve those negative feelings, which in turn can add to that emotional stress. So, honestly, Do you try and control other people? Do you attempt to at least distract yourself? Is your first instinct to leave a stressful situation, or are you one of those people that hits the internet or shoves burgers down your neck when you're stressed? Yeah, that's me. There's nothing right or wrong about any of this. I just want you to become aware of how you react to these situations and bring them to the attention of your unconscious mind. Next week, we're going to look at the associations that you have with other people. And I have to tell you that this is something I refuse to admit was holding me back until very recently. So I hope you get a lot from it. So I've just lost the plot. Basically, this week is all about being present, being in the moment, understanding how you're feeling, what you're feeling, getting in touch with those feelings, those needs, those emotions, getting them out, getting them on paper. If you have any of those judgments, actually acknowledging them, don't just push them down, acknowledge them, think about them, write them down, think about why you feel that. When did you hear that? Who did you hear that from? You know, I really want to see you go deep. I want you to delve into your thoughts. This is really interesting. This is one of the most interesting things we do. And I know it's really early on and I know it's quite deep. And it can be as big or as small as you want. If you look at this and you're like, oh, I have to write down what I'm feeling, and you do it in 2 minutes, then that's what you'll get from it. If you really take the time to be walking down the street and notice those feelings that you have, the things that you say, the things that you do, the instant judgments that you have, and then, and then you think, oh no, I can't think that. That's the stuff that's going to make the difference. This is the thing that's really going to help, and it's exciting. And I'd love you to talk about it with us. Can't wait to have this conversation on Monday. Yeah, this one's going to get posted. I'm quite pleased with this, how it's worked. Yeah, awesome. Again, remember how to press stop recording. Oh, there we go.